It's a fucking joke.
Heartfelt.
Oh, how could you say that?
I'm a dumbass.
That means you're gay.
No, God, please, no!
A man and a woman.
I'm kind of retarded. You are fake news.
Niggas.
I'm upset.
Be offended.
Do you love black people? You ain't black.
I don't care.
Shawn COVID.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
How about new?
Hot like a tamale.
Try to relax your anus.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Come on, man.
What is it, your period?
Oh, rim shot.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, all you crazy capitalists, you witty whiskey enthusiasts? Welcome to the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast. My name's Ian, and if you guys are used to seeing this show, we usually have Shawn on, but he's not here. He's playing some music, doing an Elvis practice for an Elvis cover band. He'd be able to tell you a little bit more on Friday during Sipping with Shawn, but in his place, we have the guys from the Weapons of Meme Destruction. What's going on, guys?
Stoked to be back. Such a
Hell
blast
yes.
last time.
Yeah,
I was like,
thanks
when
for
are we
having
going to
us.
get on next time? And then you called us up and couldn't be more excited to be here.
Yes. I figure this way we can outnumber you, Dane, with like the dumb dick jokes.
Yes.
Instead of it being like straight down the middle. It was
As God intended it.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So all right, so before we get into it and do the intro, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be discussing a little bit more about the Project Veritas James O'Keefe stuff going on, and with you, Dane, being a lawyer, maybe we can get into some potential legal aspects, or maybe some actually like smart points about it, instead of just two dumbasses talking about it, which is mostly what the Whiskey Capitalist is. And then also we're going to be talking about the case of Eli Hart. He was a 6-year-old, I believe, that was murdered at the hands of his deranged, diabolically insane mother. I don't know if you guys heard about this case.
I just was looking into it last night. Super sad.
Yeah, so I have a video from the creators on YouTube, Abba and Preach. They did a video. Yeah, they're pretty funny. They're definitely more liberal leaning, but a lot of their takes are pretty based. So like I do like watch them, and it's comedy. They're both comedians, so like of course I'm gonna gravitate to that, more, even if you are on the left. So I have that video we can kind of like look at and break down. They put a lot of good information in there. And then, we're also going to be talking about, once we jump over to Rumble, we're going to be talking, and maybe we'll wait to actually play the video until we get into Rumble, because there are some pretty shitty things having to do with that case. So,
Right.
and then, so once we're over at Rumble, we're also going to be talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene's comments about the necessity of a national divorce and what that could entail. And especially because that was something that you brought up, Dane, and maybe you'll be able to give your opinions on that. We can kind of flesh that one out. And we're also going to be discussing the Rage Against the War Machine rally that took place in Washington, D.C. I didn't follow that personally. So again, you enlighten me on it, and then we can kind of go through it.
Let's do it.
Sweet. Now with that, make sure that you go to solo.to/the whiskey capitalist for all the links and ways to stay up to date with us. bit.ly/the whiskey capitalist merch for our fully stacked merch store. Go get you some bike shorts, some yoga pants, some fanny packs, all the good stuff. And also check out Weapons of Meme Destruction at WMD Pod and WMDpodcast.com. And go follow them. Obviously, you see here, we like them. So, if you like us, I think you'll like them.
So you checked yes.
Yes. So wait, hold on. Managed to take a shit during your entire loading bar. Dude, that's awesome. I mean, that's getting a shit out in 3 minutes. I mean, that's pretty good.
Attaboy. He must be up to date on his fiber.
Yeah, exactly. But don't shit too fast. I hear that's how you get hemorrhoids.
Yeah. Don't squeeze.
Among other things, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
There's a couple other things that will give you those bad boys.
Yeah, we don't need you blowing out your O-ring on this one. But at least you'll be entertained. All right. So with that, we're gonna get into this intro, and then we'll get into it, guys. Here we go.
Who else in the level curve say yeah?
Look at that big, juicy booty.
Hot like a tamale.
Be offended.
Do you love black people?
Negro.
You know the thing.
Here next.
Don't be rude. You ain't black.
Schlong COVID.
You're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole.
Heartfelt. A man and a woman.
Evidently,
Beautiful.
Ian says kiwi fruit is great for pooping. There we go.
That's a new one for me. I guess if I ever have any troubles, I'll try it out.
Do you like the little seeds come out? Like the little tiny ones?
They must just like scrape everything on the way down.
Is that kind of like the corn thing, where those are the only things that don't digest in the whole?
I was gonna say, Corn Pop was a bad dude. All right,
Yes, he was.
maybe that's what he was talking about. He was just talking about him shitty. He's like, I don't get corn, but that's how it came out. That makes sense. Also to let everyone know, we are going to be doing about the first half of the show here on YouTube, and then we're going to jump over to Rumble, like I was kind of talking about earlier. The Rumble chat is spicier, so if you want to say all the spicy words, go over to Rumble and do that. Follow us, do all the things, and then you guys are on Rumble too, right?
Yes.
Is it
We're on
just
Rumble and also Odyssey?
It's just Weapons of Meme Destruction.
Yep.
Sweet. All right.
Sure.
So, let's get into this real quick. What were we fucking talking about first?
We were talking about Project Veritas.
There we go. Project Veritas.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm an idiot, obviously, today. All right. So I probably should have had that ready to go because I'm the one hosting the show.
Shawn leaves and this thing just falls apart, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Now, well, I'm used to like him having the first topic, so I'm like, all right, cool, you go. I talked.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
We'll
let's
piece her together tonight.
What'd you say?
We'll piece her together tonight. Just keep it loose, keep it frothy,
Yeah, it'll work. It'll work. I think it'll be fine. All right. So here is the letter. And if you guys were watching last week, on the last show on Monday, we did break this down and kind of go over it. But I want to, like I said, I want to have some other opinions, some differing opinions on this and see what's going on. Have you guys watched followed up at all on the situation, or?
So most of my knowledge about it is from third-party sites, either from people tweeting about it from both sides, or kind of third party. What did O'Keefe say? What did the board say? That kind of thing. Not anything where they had a direct stake or a direct claim, as is the case with that statement that you're getting ready to show or that you talked about on Monday. So
yeah. What about you, David? Any knowledge you have on all this stuff?
Kind of along the same lines as Dane, just the fallout that happened after the O'Keefe, transpiration.
Yeah, because
nothing like.
Yeah, because I know that you, I know that you're not on social media, right?
Oh, I'm technically I'm there, but I'm not. I don't engage with it too often, to be honest with you. And he's there are other members of the podcast get on other members of the podcast for not engaging more on likes and dislikes and twits. And tweets.
Yeah, no, you're good. No, we've been going back and forth because Dane, you run the Twitter, right?
Listen, if there's ever anything that's posted over there that could potentially get me fired, David's going to take the heat on that one. But the rest of it, I'm pleading the fifth on whatever. If it gets us black bagged, it's my fault. If it gets us canceled, it's his fault. That's the running agreement that we have with this podcast.
That's fair. It's a fair assessment. Yeah. But I just want you to know that I wanted you to feel those bumps go over as the bus was rolling over me on that one there, Ian.
But yeah, despite the fact that, the Twitter handle's not under his name,
True.
He can't completely escape all culpability.
Right. Yeah, no, anything that comes from the whiskey capitalists where it's super spicy, that's me not giving a fuck.
Nice.
That's me deciding, you know what? I'm not going to tweet this from my own account. I'm going to put this up representing the both of us.
Yeah, if it's a bit more reserved than it's Shawn.
Yeah, if it's a bit more reserved and it's like worded, like, I mean, I have a good enough vocabulary, but if it's worded with less like you're a twat, then that's Shawn.
Yeah.
Right.
Understood.
If there's a couple of vocab words in there.
I'm going to play a fun little game with myself now.
$10 words and then the see you next Tuesday words too. It's great.
I'm going to play a game with myself from now on when I read your guys' tweets. Was it Shawn or was it Ian?
Just put up a poll and have the tweet link in there and just
There you go. Shawn or Ian.
As long as your hands are above the blankets while you play that game, it's all set.
yeah, exactly. Basically because I've followed Project Veritas real closely, maybe for the past 3-4 years. Probably when all the Russiagate stuff was started happening, and there was a lot surrounding that, and the censoring and all that. I was following it real closely because they're doing actually what journalism is, and and I respect how James O'Keefe does his stuff. Now, is he a little bit cheeseball? Is he a little bit over the top sometimes? Yes, but you need that. You need that sometimes, and it's how you get your personality out there, I guess. And and just like an Alex Stein, you gotta kind of be a character to a point to kind of grab attention every once in a while. So I respect it, but I think that yes, thank you, Trevor. Journalism, I appreciate it. Someone's calling me out on my stupidity. But Trevor. I think that. I think that he's good, and I think that he is Project Veritas. I think there obviously are great people that work for that nonprofit, but I think that without James O'Keefe, there is no Project Veritas. Okay. And I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it. Are you guys, kind of for what he does? I mean, I'm guessing probably, but.
Yeah, no, and I think the numbers bear that out too. I don't know if you've seen their social medias over the last couple of days, as it was announced officially that he was no longer in limbo land and that they were kicking him out. Yeah. Which they say they weren't, but that's neither here nor there. But you've seen the follower count across multiple platforms just take a nosedive. And to be honest with you, I'm one of them. I unsubscribed and unfollowed from everything they did, because for me, it's not just about the kind of nondescript, shady way that it's being described from Project Veritas about why they did it. It's also the timing, and that it comes right after that bombshell. And to be fair, they've had tons of bombshell stories, but after that one in particular, where they have a Pfizer, exec basically admitting that they engaged in highly illegal gain of function research and have plans to do more. The timing of that is just way too suspect. So I don't trust the entire organization from here on out.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with my dad about it, and I was saying like there's you could take it in so many different ways. You can take it in, yes, it was because of the Pfizer story, or it could be because there was a story previous to that had rubbed the board the wrong way, and that it just built up to now, and then they did it, or it was a process, or maybe it really was because he stole a pregnant woman's sandwich at the Capitol.
That'll work, yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but that's literally one of their grievances.
One of the claims
that he stole a pregnant woman's sandwich at during a grand jury or something.
Yeah,
I mean that's the only thing that doesn't fit. Yeah. Everything about this, I said that's the only thing that doesn't fit in this story. I mean, he's burned so many other people. Like I remember the other. I don't know if we can say it on this YouTube, but he was a member of the rainbow community, and he was going on saying that we need to shoot all the unvaccinated with drones. We've got the technology. Don't worry about this. Yada yada yada. It's gonna be super fantastic, and we're gonna keep all these stupid bitches alive despite what they want to do.
Dude, you belong in California with that accent.
That's thanks, bro. We need to go outside. It's too nice to not be outside.
He's a man of many faces, that David.
But yeah, and then this one guy panicked because he showed up with a scone for his lover, and then was found out to be like, oh, don't tell anybody this, but like it's the same thing. I don't know really where he stepped out of line between the two of them, and he didn't get fired for one of them and did get fired for the other. I don't know what the difference was really in between the two of them. Yeah. So
yeah, it's I don't know. It's like one thing that makes me think about it too is like the past like 4 or 5 of them. It's like they're all gay guys. Like, and I'm not trying to say that in a derogatory. I'm just like it's an observation. Like, what?
You're acknowledging something that they would admit about themselves. So,
well, yeah, exactly. But then saying
proudly,
it, yeah,
right.
exactly. But then saying it in the like, obviously with the ideals and opinions that we espouse, that coming from me, that's going to be attacking or bigoted when I'm just like noticing a fucking thing,
right?
Right. But I don't know. I just think it's interesting, and and then that video with the where he caught the Pfizer dude like in that coffee shop was hilarious. Like,
yeah.
Like one of the things that I thought was so funny is that he said, "Oh, I'm just lying on a date. I got like dudes do that," and I'm like, "Yeah, but not about fucking testing." Like doing gain of function. Like, what the fuck are you? What? Like, that is not something that I would lie about.
You lie about how big your dick is. You lie about how much money you make. You lie about what the car you got parked at. You don't lie about like, oh, that's almost killing an entire nation.
Oh yeah, those beagles. Those beagles that Fauci was killing for a while. Yeah, we were helping.
Yeah, I don't know how many people you're going to impress with that big guy.
Yeah, wait. Okay, I want to hear both of what you guys said because they both sounded interesting. Hold on. All right, David, go first.
You know that penguin that I was telling you about the other week that he was like really putting the moves on me? I finally,
But yeah, Dane, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying I don't know how many people you plan to impress with that. It's like, yeah, I played an integral role in releasing a global pandemic and potentially making it worse.
Yeah, like those millions of people that maybe, forever sleeped because of this thing. Yeah, that's us.
It was all me, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a hand. I had a part.
Yeah. And it's not like he was a low level person. He was pretty high up there.
Yeah, I forget what his title was. It was something like he was like the director of these experiments that he was talking about.
Yeah,
so it's not like he was like, oh, I'm pushing papers or I work the front desk. It was
No, he had
You know.
he had alphabet soup with his name. There's definitely alphabet soup.
Yeah. He he had director next to his name for sure. Like you get a chair with that. Like that's you have a position with that title. But all right, so let's we could talk shit about that dude forever. So let's so the thing I kind of want, do you want to just kind of go over and just read through it?
Yeah, let's go.
I think that sounds good. All right. So today, James O'Keefe decided to remove his belongings from Project Veritas headquarters. By the way, this came out on Monday. It came out actually like 45 minutes before our stream, so it was kind of perfect. We get breaking news.
Nice.
Yeah. So the board and management made numerous attempts. I should probably bring this up. There we go.
There you go.
See, we'll get this rolling soon.
The board,
the board and management made numerous attempts in the last 14 days to have a conversation with James, but he ignored our outreach and decided to instead leak private information to others, either by doing so himself or by proxy. Now, to comment on that real quick, again, I don't know if you guys watched James's video that he put out, or that was put out by someone else, but he recorded. Did you see that at all?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so he put out like a 45-minute video where he was talking to all the people that work at Project Veritas and kind of letting them know, because he was basically, it was for 2 weeks, and the day that he was coming back was President's Day. That was after his 2 weeks, suspension or whatever. And during that suspension, he said he was told to not contact donors, to not contact anyone that worked at Project Veritas, basically to fuck off for 2 weeks. They said it was a vacation because he doesn't take vacations unless he's told, fucking whatever. But
right.
He was told not to talk to anyone, and then he was getting his phone blown up by donors and by people that work there, and he didn't answer. And then the board came back and said, "Why aren't you answering?" Blah blah. And it's like, bitch, you told me not to.
Yeah.
So like, it's so fucking back and forth. So I'm within the first paragraph, you're like, you're lying. That's
right.
Cool.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly. So as today is President's Day, our office was closed. We had a board meeting scheduled for tomorrow where James was invited, and there was also a board meeting on Friday, February 10th, where James was invited but did not attend to discuss the financial malfeasance that was discovered, which requires us to act in order to remain in compliance with the law. Now, I do have a question coming more because, like I said, I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to, like, big parts of the business and whatever. So like when a board, like if he was to talk to anyone or go to these meetings that he was invited to, like what would happen? Like, would he just get let go? Like how, like, is there a legal action that can be taken on that, or?
Not necessarily with him choosing to attend or not attend. I think that's just something for them to save face, is, trying to reiterate from the first paragraph of, oh, we tried to talk to him, but he didn't want to talk. But the more important thing in that particular paragraph from a legal perspective is the allegation of financial malfeasance. Now, obviously, that's very broad language, and, who knows what the hell they're alleging there. But, the board themselves, in order to maintain their plausible deniability and to play devil's advocate for them in this case about whether or not his firing was justified, is as board members, they do have what are called fiduciary duties to any stakeholder in the company. So they have an obligation to make sure that the finances of the company are being used in accordance with the either articles of incorporation or the bylaws that the 501c3 nonprofit was set up under. Because if you violate those, you can get in trouble at the state level, because every state has different laws of incorporation, but you can also get in trouble at the federal level, because in order to get 501c3 status, you have very specific criteria that the IRS places on you. And if you go outside of those, you can lose your status, which opens up an entire can of worms of financial liability.
Yeah, with like taxes and like all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And so they, them throwing that out there, financial malfeasance, is just kind of like a catch-all phrase that could mean anything. Obviously, we don't know without more facts, but that's what they're trying to get at in terms of saving face and saying, hey, we had to do it because we had fiduciary duties as board members to basically keep him in check. So.
Yeah, the what I got from what you said is the word fiduciary always makes me think of douche. So that's where I'm at. See, like,
hey, listen, sometimes you have to be a douche to uphold your fiduciary duties.
Yeah. So like this is like I'm an idiot. So I'm gonna catch like half of what is being said. This is really just for the audience, for their educational purposes, and me to make dumb, jokes about Summer's Eve. So all right.
Summer's Eve, it's a douche. It's a douche. It's a product that's a douche.
Yeah.
That's why our two podcasts are a match made in heaven, because that's what David's role is with me on the podcast too. Make them go to sleep, and then David wakes them up with a funny joke.
Like,
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you are outnumbered on this one, Dane, today. Sorry about that.
That's quite all right.
All right. So let's bring this back up real quick. All right. So there were two subjects that the board wished to come to terms with James on. The company's long-term sustainability based on staff retention and morale, and the company's financial health, which has been a serious concern for several months now. Although PV leadership has not concluded looking into the full scale of financial issues over the years, a preliminary review at this time indicates that James has spent an excessive amount of donor funds in the last 3 years on personal luxuries. It's kind of funny. More is still being uncovered during the ongoing review at this time. Contrary to many reports from today, James was suspended indefinitely pending the resolution of a fulsome investigation and clarity, which will need to be provided by a third-party investigative audit report. Now, before we get into that real quick, one of the things that did come from O'Keefe's video is he said that they were telling him that, or they were accusing him of like spending $12,000 on a birthday party, and he was like, dude, or no, on a wedding, and he was like, dude, I'm not married. I've never been married. I haven't had a wedding. That $12,000 was for a Project Veritas employee Christmas party. Like, so you're saying that the company can't have a Christmas party?
Right.
Like, you guys are not just douchebags. You're fucking evil douchebags. Like your douche has fucking devil horns on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're accusing him of, not being a nice guy to the employees. So, yeah.
And he addressed that too in the video. He was, whenever we're done with the stream, go check it out. It's I believe it's on Tim Pool's Twitter feed, because he said it was supposed to be just for. He was like filming it for his records, but it got leaked or something. But it's 45 minutes, so it's lengthy. But yeah, and I think he put out his full statement like in writing. So if that is more up your alley to do that, but I like seeing the emotion that someone's saying something and kind of their inflection with stuff. So, but he was saying like, yeah, like I might be a hard-nosed boss, but we've gotten stuff done. I might push people to get stuff done and go over and above, but I'm not going to do anything or ask anything of you guys that I'm not going to do myself.
Enjoy your iPhones, you pieces of shit.
Yeah, basically,
like if Steve Jobs had done this shit, they'd be,
yeah,
giving him the old hand job. Huh?
It's weird. It's like political leanings, lean you in one way or not, unless if he's a dick or if he's not. It's just weird.
It seems like they're just trying to defame him in whatever way they can, because they know that probably he didn't do anything wrong. They just have to make it seem like he did, because they can't be seen with him anymore.
Yeah.
Which I would like to see if something like that comes out of this, if he does actually sue them for defamation, because they're making some pretty serious allegations in terms of him misappropriating nonprofit funds, which could subject him to criminal penalties if it's true.
Yeah.
But see, this is the beautiful thing is there's going to be receipts either for or against. There's either actual receipts that he did misappropriate the funds and the board's going to prove it, and then we're all going to, after the fact, be like, okay, well, maybe his firing was justified, or they're not going to have any of the receipts at all. It's going to be hearsay and conjecture. And, then he's going to be able to say, you defamed me in an effort to take me down or whatever. And then he can go back after them. So, eventually we'll find out where the truth lies, and it'll probably be via court cases. But right now, like, none of us know anything. Maybe he did. Maybe he did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we'll never know. Well, we'll never know, but we don't know right now. But yeah, I'm inclined to disbelieve the board because of all the other stuff we talked about, like the timing and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, we got Trevor here saying the legal spending was just the excuse they were looking for to get rid of him. In the scheme of things, they could have worked the money issues out if that's all it was. Basically, what you were saying,
agreed.
Little caveat on the end, and the thing that that baffles me about this is it's like this is James O'Keefe, you fucking idiots. Like, he brings receipts, dude. Like, he is the godfather of bringing receipts when it comes to having accusations. So if you're going to level accusations at him, he's the only person that I think in courts that has gotten the New York Times to basically backtread.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole case that was going on with him, wasn't it like a motion to dismiss was struck down? Like, that's never happened to them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's very good at what he does, and that's we'll find out in the long run what's true or not. But I think before we find that out, wherever he pops his head back up and whatever the new organization he's running that he's going to call it, basically anybody that followed Project Veritas is going to go over there. And I know that the objectors are going to say, oh, well, this is like a cult of personality and he's just one man and everybody's following him. It's like, well, it's not a cult of personality because people aren't following him based on, nebulous things that he never substantiated. Like, he has a long track record of being very credible for the exact reason you pointed out. He keeps the receipts and he shows them. And so that's why people trust him. Who are these nameless, faceless board members that none of us who have ever heard of that fire him after one of the biggest stories they've ever broken?
Exactly.
So he has the credibility. They need to earn it. And I've seen nothing from them so far that suggests they should.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking ridiculous. Movies America says, I joined Ezra Miller for drinks. The next morning, my ass was sore. I'm sure there's no connection. Project Veritas nails Pfizer. O'Keefe fired right after. I'm sure there's no connection.
Well, that was flight of stairs.
yeah, exactly.
Both of them.
All right. So here are a few examples of what has been uncovered so far by Project Veritas leadership. This is far from an exhaustive list. It is merely a small representative example. So you want to be transparent and you want to let everyone know what's going on, but you're not going to give a full accounting. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
$14,000 on a charter flight to meet someone to fix his boat under the guise of meeting with a donor. Okay, I see that, but what if he was a donor?
Yeah, and also those things aren't mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
If his boat isn't, let's say he lives in, I don't know, Boston and his boat's in Miami, but there's also a donor in Miami, you take the flight to meet the donor, and while you're there, you also take care of the boat. It's not like without one, you don't have the other. So that one means nothing to me.
Exactly. And it's wording too. Maybe this is, this isn't a baseless claim. Maybe this has some foundation, but the way you word it is going to, matter the world on this, it's gonna sway, especially because it's public opinion at this point. It's not in court. It's just on fucking Twitter. So people are either going to believe you or they're not. And it's based on how you word things. So,
right.
Obviously, like I was saying about our Twitter, you can tell the difference in wording.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if we were in a court case, I'd probably have Shawn represent the wording a little bit better than me, but whatever.
Probably shouldn't be in the court anyway. It's a little too hyperbolic over here.
Yeah, exactly. $60,000 in losses by putting together dance events such as the Project Veritas experience. Now, I don't know if you guys know anything about that.
I don't.
But basically what it was there was a lot of it. I think it was surrounding his last book, which was American Muckraker, when that was coming out, and he was doing like the Project Veritas experience. So he was obviously trying to fundraise for Project Veritas, but also having like a caveat of like, I'm also selling my book. So like trying to put this whole thing together. And because he's James O'Keefe and because there are people that don't like him, there were venues that I think canceled on him. and venues aren't cheap to come by because you have to pay for the insurance, you have to pay for the side, you have to pay for everything. So that's not far off.
Yeah.
You know, so like I don't know how that's, I don't know. It like they're
I was gonna say if these are multiple events, have these people ever tried to throw a wedding in Miami? Like 60,000 barely gets your date reserved. Even reserve the place. Forget setting it up and decorating it.
Yeah,
like 60,000 is not
bar
much.
is fucking $100,000 easy.
Yeah.
So and then over $150,000 in black cars in the last 18 months.
What
that
does that
one
mean?
is
Why is that
confusing.
capitalized? I don't get that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it also confuses me because it's like, are you talking about like Uber Black? Are you talking about like rented cars? Like, and also you're having to like transfer equipment as well when you're doing like, you know, when he's chasing someone down the street or, you know, doing all this, he has to transfer, you know, a good number of people. And I'm sure a couple security people, like, you know, I don't know. Like,
I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't go anywhere without at least a couple security members, especially when I'm going to confront somebody. Like, he's very hated. So,
yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. And I think we did, I think we did the math on the last one. We were actually trying to be smart. And it took us a second to figure out the math because we're not smart. But so $150,000 in 18 months. That's like it's maybe $600-700 a day. So if you're thinking about actual renting, you know, an Uber Black or renting, you know, this or that, going from place to place, and if you're doing multiple of those, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, if you really get down to it, like, that's like so he could be actually saving them fucking money.
Right.
But
again, like, these numbers mean nothing without the accounting. And so, you know, them just throwing it out there, it's like, does $150,000 look like a lot of money to most of us that don't make that much in a year and a half?
Yeah.
Probably. But, you know, it's a big organization. I think I saw something like 16 employees were the ones that wrote the letter that got this all started. And they said that was a third of the company. So that means the company's what, 60 people? You know,
exactly.
Including his salary and the board and stuff like that. $150,000 is like petty cash.
Also, too, every time he breaks the story like this, I mean, think about the views that each video leads to. I mean, it's got to pale in comparison to the amount of cost that he's got. That production alone, like, they spent more than that to cancel Batwoman. Okay, they spent a hell of a lot more than that to cancel Batwoman. No one's talking about that bullshit. So I just think like I said, it looks like they're grasping for straws, and they just don't have any good ones to throw down. So there you go.
Yeah, they're just trying to fucking throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. Like, and they're not. And then their next one, thousands of dollars spent on DJ and other equipment for personal use, or hundreds of other acts of personal inurement. Like, I'm an idiot, so I thought it meant incurement, or like, so I didn't get that one. And obviously Trevor realized that I didn't get that from last time. And he says, Ian's like, inurement sounds like manure. That our audience knows us.
I thought it was piss play. So I eggs on my face too. So,
glad. I am in good company over here. We get each other.
Well,
no, but we know thousands of dollars spent on DJ and other equipment for personal use. What is it personally? Like, for what personal use? Was it in his house, or was he using it to do events for Project Veritas? Because then that's not fucking personal use, dickhead. Like,
speaking of which, does anybody remember that video that came out from that former, like, I think it was a Twitter employee or something, that was showing you like all the things that she did? Like, she would go and get a chai tea, and then she'd go to her desk for a little bit, and then she went and did some yoga.
It's day in the life TikTok.
Right. It was something like that. And it was just like, she did like 5 minutes of work the entire day. And then I meet some of my coworkers for wine after business. It's like, your platform, your corporation was damn near bankrupt, and it's providing all this shit for you. They didn't fire them. They weren't on the verge of firing them before Elon bought them out.
Yeah.
So this pales in comparison. So again, it all just kind of points back to the fact that they're grasping for straws, like I said.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a low level employee that's wasting all this fucking money.
Yeah.
And you're accusing the dude who has inspired all of these people to try and be like him, and and fucking be an actual journalist and break stories, and you're not going to give him a little bit of leeway. No, it's just ridiculous. So, all right. So
on the wrong toes at the wrong time, if I could say that.
Yeah, exactly. You're going. Oh, real quick, MMA nut. Where's Shawn? Shawn is practicing for a show. He's doing an Elvis tribute show, and he has practice tonight, so he's not here. But we have the guys from Weapons of Meme Destruction in here. So
hi, MMA nut. We missed you.
Yes,
hey, buddy.
exactly.
Still one of the best names in the business, I got to tell you.
That's right.
All right. So the board wants to work things out with James and has tried every route possible to remedy the issue at hand and begin to take the legally required corrective actions. Now, what would those legally required corrective actions be, do you think, Dane?
So the first thing would be obviously to get rid of him. And then the second thing would be to try to figure out what, if anything, they can do to take action against him to recover the allegedly misappropriated funds. So that would be a lawsuit saying, hey, James, here's the receipts for all of the things that we think that you spent on personal funds, and we're going to, we're suing you to get that money back to the nonprofit. That would be one way to do it. Because again, they do have obligations to the rest of the stakeholders in the nonprofit to make sure that the funds are used according to whatever their bylaws or articles of incorporation say it should be for. But yeah, it would usually come in the form of a lawsuit to try to recuperate whatever fund they're alleging he misappropriated.
I mean, more power to them if they're going to try to do that. But if they're coming to the lawsuit with this amount of evidence, they're going to get laughed out of court,
Yeah.
Should be interesting. MMA Nut says, what? Shawn has to be the worst Elvis lookalike ever. I mean, ever.
In fairness, I thought you were fucking with us when you said that, by the way.
No.
I was like, Elvis, okay.
I like how he ended it nice to you guys. Oh, and hey, dudes. Yeah, no, Shawn is a bass player, so he's the backing band, so he is not actually Elvis. I don't know if he has the lip curl down or any of that, or if he has like the what era of Elvis is he doing? Is he doing like the fat Elvis?
Is he doing like the shaky Elvis? Is he doing like the one the kids were screaming about?
Yeah, exactly. If he is shaking,
or is he doing the, like peanut butter and pickle sandwiches fried on the toilet, Elvis?
Dude, I swear, if one of them is dressed as Elvis,
they should do all of them.
Like dying on the toilet.
Dude, the drummer has to be that guy. He has to be that. They have like a pickle sandwich over there.
I mean, they do call it a throne, so.
I mean, the jokes write themselves at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Also, we have Professor Savage Dad over on Rumble saying that video was epic. Pfizer hit him hard, but he hasn't gone. He will be back. Talking about the I think he's talking about his the 45-minute video.
Right. That's what I took him to mean.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, either that or the actual Pfizer video where he was confronting that dude.
That too.
I mean, either one of them were fucking awesome.
I mean, the second video was pretty epic. He tries to grab people's phones and throw them, and then runs out. Like it's
and then he says a bunch of white people are in here. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is just complete proof that when you don't have an argument, it's race card. Here you go.
Yep, exactly.
So Trevor says, I thought Elvis was abducted by aliens.
Maybe he's trying to come back in those balloons.
Dude, that's what it was. That's why it was white. It was Elvis's white suit. That was good.
Coming back, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
He was made shoes fell later.
Yeah, exactly. And then movies, he's doing the Elvis impersonating Moby area.
That is,
Shawn,
I like it.
Shawn with the bald head. I mean, it's very fitting. I think he's a little cooler than Moby, I will say.
Yeah.
But
pretty
all
low
right.
bar to get over.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So James also left us no choice but to suspend him in the last few weeks when he unilaterally fired the CFO, who can only be fired by with board approval. That is a violation of our nonprofits bylaws. James went as far as to say that a board member had approved this firing to others, but it was later discovered that it was not the case. That member did not approve the firing. The board approved James's suspension so it would have time to properly investigate these internal infractions. The board has a legal obligation to comply with state and federal law, and these matters are serious ones that cannot be ignored. Now, with the bylaws thing, I mean, I know that obviously, the company, they're going to have, their policies and everything, going on with that. But, the situation that I heard of, the reason why this happened is that James O'Keefe's was proposed from this board member, from the CFO, that if James O'Keefe doesn't resign, then if he's not gone, then the CFO is going to resign by a certain amount of time. And then when that time came up, the CFO didn't resign. So James O'Keefe was like, all right, cool, kick rocks, So
yeah.
What can be done about, or what's the situation there, like legally, I guess?
So when they brought up the CFO and specifically reference, well, they didn't make this connection, but that's the connection I made from what they were writing, is that bringing up the CFO when you're also alleging financial malfeasance makes it look like he fired the CFO because the CFO was asking him about his, what he was spending money on.
Oh, you mean kind of like how Biden, got rid of that prosecutor in Ukraine?
Exactly. Like
they
that.
were. Oh,
No.
okay. I mean, I'm sorry, we're on YouTube. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Justified. Yep. All right, move along. Move along.
So I think that's kind of the implied thing while they're bringing up the CFO there. In terms of the bylaws themselves, so every state has different rules of incorporation. I don't know where Project Veritas is incorporated. It's probably Delaware, because you'll see a lot of corporations are incorporated in Delaware because they have some of the most lax incorporation laws in the country. But
like keeping your money with the Swiss bank.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Essentially. So when you incorporate whatever state you're incorporating in, some require you to be more specific and some less specific about what you are doing with the company. So these bylaws are basically self-imposed laws that you are putting on yourself as the corporation. And if you violate your own bylaws, that's what gives the board of directors recourse to go after you legally. Because violating your own bylaws isn't necessarily a violation of state law or federal law for that matter, but they're internal rules that you place on yourself that if you violate, then the board of directors says, they go to a court and they say, look, he violated, bylaw X, Y, or Z. This is why it's a violation of, fiduciary duties or whatever their claim is, make him give us money, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Guys,
I'm hearing what you're saying, but I just see David dying down there. What's going on?
Who among us hasn't violated some of our bylaws in our own past? Like,
I mean, I violated something. Maybe not. Well, I violated something. Might not be bylaws, but
or I haven't walked out of a room, done the walk of shame. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, really? That's what got you there? God damn it. Anyway, all right. Good thing
I knew there was something good.
Delaware.
Yeah, I knew there was something. Yeah, you said Delaware, and I immediately thought Wayne's World. I was like,
of course. Like, no, I was going a little more devious than that. But, hey, they're your bylaws. So, what? I mean,
why aren't they gay laws?
Crime, Mikey. It's a victimless crime.
Why are they bylaws? They can't make a decision. Is it why aren't they gay or straight laws?
They are and they are. They're like Schrodinger laws.
They swing both ways. Laws. All right. All right. So let me see. Okay. So James claims that that rhymed. That the board did not allow him to send an apology letter to the staff, which is not true. The board never told James he was not to speak with staff members, nor that he could not apologize to them. I mean, I'm just, again, going based off track record. I don't know who the fuck these people are, but I do know that James O'Keefe seems to be a stand-up dude, and he's telling me one thing. I'm gonna probably believe him. Just basically.
And like that's just such petty shit. Like how does that support anything, let alone up to and including firing the guy? It just doesn't. I don't.
Yeah, so I don't know. But more than anything, the board cares about the donors of this organization. Then why are you ousting the dude who got all of them together? Who decide to donate their hard-earned money to us because they believe in the mission. They believe in James O'Keefe and what he is doing with the mission. Just need to add that in there. We cannot allow for our donors to send us money and have it be misappropriated in such a way. We love our supporters and would never sit idly by as money is being used for matters that are not mission related. Well, they don't love you anymore, so
yeah.
It's not.
I don't know what's their Twitter account as of right now.
Twitter account right now. Let me see. Project Veritas. They're at 1.1 million followers.
Yeah, it was like 1.5 just a couple of days ago. So they've lost 400,000 people in a very short amount of time.
I think there's literally a dude who has just been continuously live streaming the followings of James O'Keefe, and you see when they like cross the threshold and everyone's following him and unfollowing them. It's great.
The thing of beauty.
Oh wait, Trevor says he probably used the wrong pronouns for people, which is a serious offense against the bylaws. I think that's the joke that I was trying to get to, but thank you for taking my thoughts and putting them into words. Even with all of this public fallout, the board still wants to speak with James. We did not fire him, nor do we want him to resign. Didn't you just say that you I don't know, man. There's okay.
But it's like
we would like to continue conversations with James to resolve internal matters rather than litigate them publicly. Project Veritas will continue to be transparent with the public as more information can be released over time. The fight for truth will never stop. Whoa, that last sentence is it's comedy. It's literally comedy writing, dude.
Yeah.
Like
the reason why they don't want to litigate publicly is because they can't. They probably don't have the receipts like he does. So
you'd expect this kind of like press release from CNN. You'd expect it from like CNBC. You'd expect it from Fox. It's very legalese. It's very contrite. It's very, I mean, like I was trying to say before, it's not like he was the Wolf of Wall Street buying hookers, throwing midgets onto Target, snorting fucking cocaine. Actually, if they would have listened to that, everybody would like, reinstate him. He's a badass. Get him back in there. He's snorting coke off of strippers' asses. Who doesn't want to do that?
Okay, dude.
If that's a misappropriation of funds, I don't need the funds. I'll figure them out myself. God damn it.
Okay, dude. Like, since you bring up Wolf of Wall Street, total tangent, but that movie, like, I don't think I really saw any like promos for it or like trailers or anything for it. I just heard Wolf of Wall Street had Leo DiCaprio in it. He's a good actor. Like, so I was like, oh, I'll fucking watch it. Someone said it's raunchy, but they didn't tell me how fucking crazy it is. And then within the first 5 minutes, he's snorting coke out of a fucking hooker's asshole. I was like,
if you'd have told me that in second grade, that if I would have paid more attention to math class and I would have been able to do that, half the shit he did in that movie, I'd have been a fucking mathematician. But, sports.
Oh yeah, no, dude. Like I when I saw that scene, I was like, oh, that's what kind of movie this is gonna be.
Fuck. All right, I missed the boat. Missed the goddamn boat.
I was like, damn it. But yeah, I don't know. I like thoughts on after kind of reading all of that. Do you think they have a leg to stand on? Do you think they have anything, that's gonna help them with that?
I mean, we don't know what we don't know at this point, and they're not exactly being very forthcoming. Shocker. They'll chalk it up to, well, it's only been a couple weeks and we got to do a lot of investigating before we really hit the public with all the fine details. But, as they say, the devil is in the details, and they don't have anything yet. So I don't know. Maybe it will be established that, he is a scumbag and blah, blah, blah. But again, I'm not going to employ the wait and see method. And in the meantime, I trust the person who's actually demonstrated to me that he is trustworthy. I don't know who these people are.
He'll be the only name listed on the Epstein list. It's like, we can't tell you any of the other ones, but we can definitely guarantee you that O'Keefe went to the island.
Yeah.
Like there was someone in the chat on Monday that said something like, oh yeah, they're trying to do like a Epstein, whatever, blah, blah. And I'm like, don't you think that would have come out like if that was a, I don't know. It just, I don't know, man. It's just fucking weird. And people, and it's just weird how there's all this infighting going on with the right and the conservative stuff lately. I don't know. Like, there's the Crowder Daily Wire stuff. There's the Project Veritas stuff. Then there's Tim Pool and Eliza Blue and the quartering. And, I don't know if you followed that too much, but that was fucking crazy. But the Professor Savage Dad over there on Rumble, he started watching our show because of not liking what Tim Pool said about the audience. So like I'm kind of thankful that happened because now we have an awesome dude who like interacts with us on Twitter and interacts in the chat. So cool with that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I guess we were an innocent bystander in all that. We have Mario over here, WMD crew. What up?
Mario, how's it going, buddy?
Boy. Sweet. Good to see you. Sweet. Glad to see some of your crew following you in here.
Yep.
All right. So before we get into the Eli Hart stuff, which we'll probably spend about 10-15 minutes on, and then we'll get into the stuff that you guys were had brought up. I figure those topics are definitely more Rumble-esque. So we'll
cancel the living shit out of us if we talk about that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's inevitable. It's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
But,
have you guys gotten any strikes yet on YouTube?
Oh yeah, we got the reason why we've been doing the half and half is because of
costs a little extra, but it's worth it.
Costs a little extra. What do you mean?
The half and half.
Oh yeah,
well, but it's worth it.
It's a little extra time, and there was some stuff you gotta put into it, and I make a little animation that we'll show here in a minute. That jumps over and a little extra shit, but you're able to get Rumble rants during live streams. You're able to get paid out for for chats and stuff. You can't do that until you have a certain threshold on YouTube, and all that stuff. So, but yeah, we Shawn on Sipping with Shawn was showing fight videos and breaking them down, and but there was no blood. There wasn't like titties or nothing like that. And I was producing in the background, so I wasn't on the show, but I was just in the background. And and I went, oh shit, dude, we just got a parental advisory, like age restriction on it, and like halfway through. And then so he asked me, he's like, should we keep going? I'm like, well, fuck it, we already got the age restriction. Why not? So he kept going, and then we got it taken down. We got a strike, and I'm like, oh my god. So during that week, that's when we decided to like, all right, we're gonna do half and half, and it'll drive people to Rumble. It's a lot, it's a lot better. More. Trevor says, no titties. I watched for nothing.
Well, I guess if you ask so nicely.
Hands, everyone, hands
above.
All right, so with that, there is someone that wanted to let everyone know what to do. I mean, I know that you guys are looking for things to do, and people telling you what to do. So we have someone here that is going to do that. So here we go.
Don't be a dingus. You must subscribe to the Whiskey Capitalist podcast. They helped change my life for the better. I am now red-pilled, married, employed, have good credit, and smell great. Go to rumble.com and subscribe to the Whiskey Capitalist today. Let's go, Brandon. 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 Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
God bless him. Wherever he's at in the world, God bless him.
That guy's devoted.
Dude, I had a couple people when I was setting it, they're like, wait, where'd you go to do that? Like, do you know that guy?
Yes.
You just tell him you didn't know. We're worldwide, my guy.
Yeah, exactly. Prestige worldwide, baby.
Adjust your tie.
Yeah. So getting strikes and earning stripes. Yep,
That
that's
is
what we're
true.
doing.
I can't remember what number we're on. We've won like our last 2 appeals. I think we've had 4 total strikes on you.
We're the comeback kids, man. They keep striking us, and we're keeping like, hey, and they're like, all right, you got us on that one.
There was one that we did get a strike on, and then we appealed it. Did like the @team YouTube on Twitter or whatever, and then they took it, and then they remedied it, and it was fine. But this last one, they were like, nope, we reviewed it, and of course we receiving the notices at like 3 a.m, and then like because it's obviously from fucking India or wherever that dude's from, and it was probably him, and and
no,
then
he certainly loves the show. He wouldn't be giving you stripes.
Yeah, exactly. No, he loves the $10 that we gave him on Fiverr.
Don't admit your fucking tricks. God damn it, especially not to the.
Hey, you know what? We're trying. Everyone needs to have their own shows. We're just trying to foster a big community of people speaking out and talking to Africans on the internet.
And you changed his life. Irrevocable.
Right.
For the beta.
For the beta.
Sorry, I can't not.
That's not wrong, right?
Dude, it's so bad.
Right?
He smells great now. But yeah, no, I think so the second one that we did that was for the fighting or whatever. Fiverr offends me being that I'm 4.5. That's good. I like that. That's good. No, but when we got the strike for the fighting and whatever, we went at Team YouTube on Twitter, and they immediately, responded, oh no, your appeals, you can't appeal anymore. Your appeals denied. And then I was like, so wait, you're not going to let us like show fight videos and talk about them, but you're going to let a video called Dick or Dildo on the platform. Do you guys know about this?
No, probably some.
I mean,
no. I don't even want to say that.
No, I have no idea.
I've said enough.
Actually, David, you do look familiar.
Maybe. You've been holding out on me. Been even moonlighting on another podcast with a completely different theme.
I haven't. Times are tough, Dane.
No, so
turning them out like we used to. So girls got to do what a girl's got to do.
$20 is $20. No, but so basically, it's a video where one gay man is laying on a bed with a blanket covering his ass, and so you can't see what's going on past that. And then there's another gay man that has a that it's a challenge, so he has to guess whether or not it's his peen or a dildo.
Is this an ongoing series, or this was just one video this guy made?
I think it's one video, and then other tried to emulate it. So
don't you understand, Sketchy Jesus? Okay.
I mean, I am.
This is a marginalized group. This is a marginalized group. They can do no wrong.
I'm sketchy, not shady. There is a difference. Okay.
Did I say shady? My bad.
No. You said sketchy. You're good.
Oh, okay.
That's shady. So evidently you have a side hustle, according to Mario there, David.
It's not
a couple. I've got a couple of them.
Yeah, is that your OnlyFans? Is it only peens?
Hey, a gentleman never asks and a lady never tells. All right. Can we just leave it at that? We'll leave it at that.
It's an opening more. It's more of an opening than a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. See, now he gets it. It's all about perspective.
And Professor Savage Dad said, not stretchy either. It's sketchy. Oh my God. Wow. All right. So with all that, guys, we're going to jump over to Rumble. Before that happens, make sure you check out solo.to/the Whiskey Capitalist for all of our links and ways to stay up to date with us. bit.ly/Whiskey Capitalist merch to check out our fully stacked merch store. Also, you can check out solo.to/I'm Shawn Cav for Sipping with Shawn that's coming up on Friday with Shawn, who is not here, and Weapons of Meme Destruction is in place of him today. Someone in the Professor Savage Dad in the Rumble chat just said only dongs, and that totally threw me off. But yeah, check him out. And actually this Friday on Sipping with Shawn, Movies America, which is one of the other shows that we have on here, and he's in the chat. He is going to the Babylon Bee live in Dallas. He's going to be dressed up as Cocaine Bear.
That's awesome.
So he's going to be in a bear suit with flour all over his face, and he's going to be our bear on the street. So that's pretty good. I think
I
that's
like it.
It's cool that the bear likes peace, tranquility.
yeah, exactly.
He said flour.
Yeah.
No one else would assume anything else.
I think it's more of like a baking soda mixture.
As long as there's some fentanyl, I think we're all right.
Yeah, exactly. And then also check out solo.to/till-death podcast, the podcast I do with my wife every other Saturday, where we talk about marriage issues, dick jokes, and words for transmission that you can't use on YouTube.
Words for transmission.
Yep. Light bulb just went off. Saw it. There we go. yeah, exactly. And then also check out Movies America on Twitter, moviesamerica.com, and check that out. And also, last but not least, check out Weapons of Meme Destruction, WMD Pod, WMDpodcast.com. If you want to give the YouTube people, for anyone that's not going to jump over to Rumble, which I don't know why you wouldn't. You should. All the cool kids are doing it. Just let it happen. Open your mouth. Let them know kind of what you guys do.
Yeah, so we have a weekly podcast. We try to release every Wednesday, but sometimes it's here or there, depending on our production crew's availability. But we have a weekly podcast that we might transition or not transition over, but also get some live streams every week, in which case we'll invite the gentleman from Whiskey Podcast on. But a weekly podcast released every Wednesday. You can find us on any podcast catcher. Just search Weapons of Meme Destruction. I think we're up to episode 135 now. And then you can also find the videos on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, and then you can link up with us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, private Facebook page, members only, $5 a month support gets you in there. Float and Tribal as well. So those are all the places to find us.
Dang, that's a
come
lot of
join the same space.
And slide up in the DMs for the OnlyFans account.
Only Dongs.
Exactly. Onlydongs.com.
And you can play Dick or Dildo with David yourself, guys.
Anytime. For a nominal fee.
Sometimes he catches, but for a little bit extra fee, he will also pitch. No
lube though. Remember when we were
no discrimination here. Let's get down. Let's get dirty.
We have to do it as our ancestral, as they taught us from the kids.
Yes, yeah, the answer.
I don't know why I struggled so hard with that one.
So, Movies America says Cocaine Bear likes to bring peace and tranquility to people by mauling them to death. All right, so with that, we are going to jump over to Rumble. The link is down in the description to jump over there. Go say all of the naughty words, the spicy words in the chat. We will read them because we can. All right, so with that, we'll see you over there, guys. Peace.